Hi everyone, let's solve today's daily challenge, that is sequential digits. So first of all, what is a sequential digit, right? So an integer has sequential digits if and only if each digit in the number is one more than the previous digit, right? So for example, here you can see that this is a sequential digit. So why? Because we have 1, 2, 3. So this is a number which has sequential digits, right? So 1, then we have 1 plus 1, that is 2, then 2 plus 1 3, and similarly 2 3 4 you can also see here. Similarly, if you see all these numbers, you can see that they are in sequence, that is 1 2 3 4, then 2 3 4 5 3 4 5 6, etc. So that is what an integer is with sequential digits. So now what we want to do in this question is we want to return a sorted list of all the integers in the range low to high inclusive that have sequential digits, right? Now here in this question we will be given a range, right? That is from 100 to 300. As we can see here, we have to return the integers with sequential digits. So here I can see that I can only form 1 2 3 and 2 3 4, right? So let's get on the board and understand. Now for some moment, let's forget that we have a range, right? And let's try to jot down these sequential numbers, right? So we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, right? Now let's say here, if you see the constraints, you can see that low and high can be from 10 to 10 raised power 9, right? So that means from 2-digit numbers up to 9-digit numbers I can have, right? So this is 2-digit number and this is a 9-digit number, correct? So low and high can be from 2 digits to 9 digits, right? So these are the numbers that we can generate. Now let's try to get for 2-digit numbers. How many numbers do we have which are sequential? So here I can see that I have 1 and 2, right? Then from 2 3, then 3 4, 4 5, 5 6, and 6 7, 7 8, and 8 9. So these are the numbers which are sequential numbers, right? So I can see that these are 8 numbers for 2 digits, right? With 2 digits that are sequential, that have sequential digits, right? So that is 1 2 3 4, sorry, 2 3 as well, 2 3 3 4, and then 4 5 5 6, and so on up to 8 9, correct? So these are total 8 numbers. Then if I go to the next number of digits, that is 3. So we'll have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 again, and now I want 3 numbers, right? So 1 2 3, then from 2 to 4 we want, then from 3 to 5 we want, then from 4 to 6 we want, right? 5 to 7, 6 to 8, and 7 to 9. So I can see that from 1, right, 1 2 3 up to 7 8 9 are the numbers that I can have. So these are how many numbers? 7 numbers, right? Similarly, if you keep going and if you reach 9 digits, so I can say that 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, this is the single number that we can have for up to 9 digits, correct? All right. So with this I can understand how to generate these numbers. All we have to do is we have to take some part of these 9 numbers, right, of some length, right? So I can say that here I wanted to take 2 length numbers, here I wanted to take 3 length numbers, and for 4 digits I would want to take up to 4 digits, right, from the sequence only, right? So that makes the question easier for me. So now what I can do is I can simply have these numbers, right? And the most optimal way I can do it is to have a string, right? And inside of that string I can store 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So this will be my string 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. And from this string I can obtain substrings of my desired length, that is from 2 up to 9. So I want, from this string I want substrings of 2 length, 3 length, 4 length, and up to 9 length, correct? So this is basically how we can get, like, generate all these numbers which have sequential digits, right? So now we have understood how we can do this, right? Instead of again, if you are thinking, right, to generate all the numbers and then check the which number is sequential, that will be taking a lot of time complexity. But this way it is better, right? It's just like we are kind of moving forward, right? Like sliding window kind of a problem, correct? Now, so we have basically understood we have to take the string and then a substring, and then this substring that I obtain, right, I can check whether it lies within the given range or not. If it lies, then we will include it in our answer, and if it doesn't lie, then we'll keep moving forward, right? All right, so this is basically how we can do it. Now you might be wondering, if we opt out to do this, our time complexity would be O of n square, right? But that is not the case. Our time complexity will not be O of n square, and the reason being that these numbers are limited, right? Here you can see you have 8 numbers, and you keep going down, so you will notice that you have 8, then 7, then 6, and let me write it here. So if you have 2 digits, you will have 8 numbers, right? If you have 3 digits, you will have 7 numbers. If you have 4 digits, you will have 6 numbers, and so on. And for the 9th digit, you will have only one number. So if you add these up, it's a constant number, right? It is constant. So I can say that this n square will not be there. So from constant, right? So these are constant number of numbers, right? So even if I will try to do this, right, that is iterate in the string and get the substrings, these substrings are limited, and these substrings is 8 plus 7 plus 6 up to 1, correct? So that is not n square, that is 8 into, let's say, 8 plus 1. Let's assume that we will have 8 numbers in all of these. So then we only have 8 into 8, which is a constant number. So thus I can say that the time complexity will be big O of 1 only, which is constant, so it becomes big O of 1 only, right? So that means in constant time complexity we can get an answer. Right, so I hope you have understood this. Now another thing, that when we will be looping, right, so the first loop will be the number of digits that we want, correct? So we'll be looping like, we'll have for, and it goes from, let's say, I is equal to, so here we know that we want to get numbers from 2 digits, so I can say I is equal to 2. So for 2 length numbers, we have to go up to how many digits? 9, right? So 9 we have to go up to, right, 9 length. And then we will have second loop here, which will basically, now we know the number of the size of the substring that we want, right? Now the substring can be 1 2 or 2 3 or 3 4. Now I want to get these indexes, right? So these 1 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, right? So from what index I want to get these numbers. So the second loop will be starting from 0, and up to what length it would run? It would run to, because this is the starting index that we are considering, the j, right? It has to run up to only that number. Let's say I want to get 3-digit number, so the last 3-digit number can only be formed from 7, so I don't have to go up to 8 or 9, correct? So how do we get this 7? So basically I can simply say, if I take the total number of digits, that is nothing but 9, and subtract the number of digits, right? So the number of digits in this case is 3, right? And do plus 1, so I get the starting point. And if I do a minus 1, I get that index, right? So this is basically, they cancel out, and we get 9 minus 3, which is nothing but 9 minus the number of digits, which is I. So I can say j loop runs up to 9 minus I length, and we do j plus plus. Then what we have to do, we have to consider a substring which start from jth index and is of length I, correct? So that is basically what we have to do, and we will simply, after getting the substring, first we have to convert it into an integer, and after we convert it into an integer, we can simply check whether this number lies in our range or not. If it lies in the range, then we will simply put it in our answer array. All right, so now let us go ahead and code it. So what are we going to do? We are simply going to take a string, right? And that string will be having 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, right? And after that, let me declare my answer array here. All right, now what do we have to do? We have to loop, right? We have to loop from int I is equal to 2, because 2 digits we want, right? From 2 digits up to 9 digits, so I less than equal to 9. And then we'll do I plus plus. Then inside of this loop I want the starting indexes, correct? So we'll say int j is equal to 0. We start from the first index and we go up to what length? We go up to j less than equal to 9 minus the number of digits that we have. So we get the starting index of the last number, right? And then we'll keep iterating. Now what we have to do? We have to take a substring, right, that starts from jth index and goes up to I length, correct? So we'll say string substring is equal to str dot substr is a function which takes two parameters to give us the substring that we want, right? So the two parameters is, the first parameter is what is the start index from where you want to get a substring. So I'll say it is j, and what length you want to get. You want to get I length, so I can simply pass j comma I. So I get a substring that starts from index j and goes up to length I, right? Now after I have done that, I have to take an integer num, right? And inside of this integer I have to convert this substr string into a number, right? So that is why we have taken it. So stoi function in C++ is used to convert a string to an integer. So I can simply pass my string here and it will convert it into an integer. So after we are done with that, what we have to do? We have to check if this num lies in the given range. That is, num should be greater than equal to low and num should be less than equal to high, right? Only then it will be lying in the given range. If it lies in the range, then we have to put it inside of our answer vector, right? So we'll ans.pushback num. So now we have basically completed the number of substrings and we have basically got an answer. So now we can simply return this answer array here. So this is how basically we have to solve it. So let's quickly run it. So it's accepted. So this is basically how we have to solve this question, right? So we just take a simple string that goes from 1 to 9, and because we know we can use these two loops, because we know the number of strings that can be generated with sequential digits are limited, and that is a constant number. So that is why we can go like this, as well as the time complexity would be big O of constant, which in turn means big O of one time complexity only. And for space, you can only see that we have this string str which takes some extra space, and again it is of length 9 only, so it is again a constant space. So that is basically what this problem is and how we can solve, and what are the time and space complexities of this problem.